Hello, and welcome back to another brand new, exciting episode of Video Ditch. A nice Sunday morning edition for Nick and I. But we've got another international guest with us today, talking about the occult and point and clicks. Nick, please, would you give him the intro treatment?
Years ago, there was a little company called LucasArts, and they made some of the greatest games known to man. They're able to utilize the simple ability of the mouse to point and click to tell stories that took hours upon hours of your time. They made you laugh. They made you cry. They made you think about ideas that you never once considered in your young age. They made you think about things like death, things like the occult, things like what happens when you close your eyes, things like what goes on in your mind when you are sleeping. What do dreams really mean? And then that company died, and everyone thought, well, clearly that was because they made bad games. We should never replicate those again. We should never make anything like that again. Everything should be brown and ugly and make you not feel anything except for homicidal rage or hatred towards your fellow man. And this is the way things went for decades upon decades. But now, with our current guest, Orbital Dot, they have got a game that is going back to that point-and-click aesthetic, going back to the idea that games can be a storytelling method, that using your humble mouse, you can effectively not only tell a story, but also involve the player in the story. You can put the power in their hands, so to speak, to determine what will happen, how to shape the world, and determine the fate of this character. It will make you think, it will make you feel, and more than anything else, it'll make you go goo-goo eyes at the beautiful art and the intrigue that bounces around in your head and makes you think, what will happen next? What is the true meaning of Mesmer? And how can I get the good ending where she holds my hand and says, you know what, kid, you're all right.
Perfect. Yeah. On today's show, we've got Orbital Dot joining us to talk about their game, Mesmalie. So, Rain, thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
Yeah, apparently I'm the first person since the 90s to make a non-muddy brown game.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Just said, yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, the industry's been in a very dire state ever since then, but yeah, I'm here to rescue it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you dearly.
Beautiful.
We've been basically like Cro-Magnons in the cave, huddled around the fire, looking at the ancient paintings, thinking about what it could have been, dreaming of a Monkey Island in full throttle.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, before we get into it, Rain, would you like to let the viewers and listeners know a little bit about who you are before we get the interview started?
Yeah, I'm Rain or Orbital Dot, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I make games, music, art, and a bunch of other stuff. Apparently I've made a game called Mesmalie, or the demo of it at least.
Nice.
Apparently it's coming out pretty soon. Yeah, I'm interested. I've been making this kind of stuff for maybe 10 years, and Mesmalie is my first real kind of outing in all areas as a proper release. Yeah, it's about it, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we'll be getting to learn about the history behind your history with video games development, and I'm curious to see about what other artistic inspirations influenced this project, and perhaps even looking a bit beyond towards the future. But to start, we're a video games podcast. We like to ask all our guests where their history began with the medium, and how did that look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, my history isn't anything that special because my childhood started out with a lot of really crappy licensed games. Like, I can tell you, my first console was a PlayStation 2, but I can't even tell you what I played back then, except for maybe movie tie-ins or other terrible licensed games. I mean, at the time, they're awesome, but then 20 years later, it recently happened to me that my partner set up emulation for me on my PC, and I was really excited to dive back into all those classics from my childhood, only to find out they're all crap. I mean, okay, it's all like subjective kind of, but yeah, it was a very interesting experience revisiting those.
I understand completely. I've been thinking about licensed games a lot lately, and just
don't you just miss them?
Well, I think it's like they were very like prolific, during our
Mm-hmm.
childhood, and I think companies realize now that like the return on investment is not going to be like probably the best profit. But
right.
I feel like for so many
$10,000 at a team,
you can make a cheap, shitty ass tie-in game now, but they don't hit the same way as they did back then. But I think for a lot of people growing up around our age, like gaming as a child, when your parents didn't have like, the knowledge of what's coming out within the space, it's like, well, I'll get them what's familiar, what we all recognize. And so I think that like that era of growing up with those licensed games.
Yeah, but even then,
pretty,
it's really interesting how most of those, you look back and most of them are like kind of, or at least the ones that I remember playing, a lot of them are like an alternate retelling of like the events in the movie. So it's not like exactly the same as the movie. There were still some writers involved in crafting a slightly different story, taking the movie in a different direction.
Extrapolate the events and make it a 5-hour game instead of a 2-hour
exactly.
movie. Yeah.
It would be one thing if they just made 1-to-1 copies of movies back then, but no, they went out their way to make these alternate stories. I mean, like I said, most of these games are kind of crap if you play them nowadays anyway. But yeah, that was something that really, like on the upside, at least, that was one of the things that interested me in those games as a kid. Like just the fact that they had an alternate story to the main thing they were related to.
And kind of being able to explore that with those characters. Yeah,
exactly. But I think the first game I remember that wasn't a crappy licensed game was probably the Sly Cooper series by what are they called again? Sucker Punch, I think, right? Yeah. Like those were the first games I really remember getting into as a kid on my PlayStation because they're just so good, especially the first three for the PlayStation 2. I think the first one was PlayStation 1 even. But yeah, just the very strong art style, the character designs and stuff like that. I think that's one of the first real games I have very fond memories of. And I can kind of tell that maybe the art style carried over a little bit into my current interests. Because it has a very strong art style that I still really enjoy.
Very exaggerated and
exactly, like super cartoony. Like the fact that they were able to like make these 3D models look like they're kind of a cartoon. I mean, again, it's one of those things where you look at it nowadays and it hasn't aged that well graphically, but like it's still a very interesting look. It's still very stylized. It's very lovely and it definitely shaped up a little bit of what I'm interested in nowadays.
That's wonderful. Not to get too far ahead, but with the genre that Mesmalie is in, were point and clicks and adventure games, were those kind of formative for you, or was that a genre that you ended up exploring later in life?
Yeah, when I was younger, there's one particular game from when I was younger that really like led me onto that path eventually. I don't know. Would you guys happen to know of that Lord of the Rings Gollum game that came out maybe a few years ago? The one that was received not so well? Well, maybe like 15 or 20 years ago or something like that. The same company, Daedalic Entertainment, they actually made these really charming point-and-click adventure games. It was this German company. I think the first game that they ever made was actually one of their university projects. And they made a point-and-click adventure, a German game. And these games also have a very strong art style, very fun writing, a very German humor that I appreciate because I grew up not German, but I still understood as a kid. Specifically the Edna and Harvey series that they made. There's 2 games in the series, and they're both really they have really strong visuals. The gameplay is kind of confusing, but it's still really fun. And the writing, like I said, the writing is just this funny German stuff.
Reading the synopsis here, starring a young woman and her toy rabbit. The objective of the game is to escape from a mental hospital.
Exactly. It's like it places you in this kind of like it's supposed to be a kind of serious situation, but it's just kind of like whimsical and goofy because you're experiencing the story from this girl's head. And it has these really interesting mechanics too that also kind of like play around with point and clicks because she has her toy rabbit and a lot of the puzzles are solved by traveling back in time into the girl's memories via this rabbit. And you learn stuff in the past that you can apply to the current situation. And it's a really interesting game like that. But it is really goddamn hard. Like some puzzles eventually lead you to the points that a lot of point clicks fall into, where it's just you try to combine every item together, just hoping.
Yeah, just the hallmark of the genre. Yeah,
click on every single weird pixel.
Exactly. Yeah, just like combine this item with this item, do that for another hour until they mix into some useful item.
Just keep repeating the action. Yeah,
that's how they get you. They get you to call that tip hotline for $5 a minute.
Exactly.
Yeah,
the Edna and Harvey series. That's like. That is a really formative series, I would say, because it has really good writing. The art style is similar to Sly Cooper, as I just mentioned. It has like this strong cartoony art style with thick black outlines and such. like that was probably one of my most formative point and click experiences when I was
That's
young.
really interesting. I've never heard of these games.
Yeah, I mean,
but
they're
I love
German.
that.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
German in nature. Like they come from Germany. They are localized, and I think they are kind of well received within the English point and click community. So there's at least that. It's just kind of a bummer that now we're here. Gollum happened, and the studio is closing down.
Yeah, they
I
should
think-
have
I think
making point and clicks.
I know, right? No, I think they're like winding down their development department, and now they're just publishing games. So it's not like they're totally dead, but it's still a shame.
It's just one of those realities of the industry.
Exactly.
That is kind of a bummer to witness from the sidelines. But
Exactly.
I suppose, it's more motivational and exciting for you as a, solo or indie developer to kind of pick up that torch.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Sly Cooper, Edna and Harvey.
Yeah, lots of strong cartoony stuff.
Yeah.
Funny
Big,
writing.
bold art. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You kind of
Strong character design.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nick, any questions from you right now about the gaming past?
The gaming past. I mean, Edna and Harvey. I remember looking up that back when I was looking for like free point and click games because I'd beaten everything I got my hands on, and I played everything on Newgrounds that wasn't 18 plus at the time.
Mhm.
Afraid to touch those,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have a similar past. Lots of Flash games too.
Yeah.
You can
So I
see
do
that-
remember-
think the DNA is there.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember seeing Edna and Harvey, and then also seeing like, oh, you have to like mount the disc, or it's in German. I was like, I can't understand
Yeah.
this. So I have faint memories of seeing the rabbit
probably
and
back
the girl.
then. Probably back then they didn't
Mhm.
have an English version or anything like that. So I can imagine.
hmm So it's interesting that kind of very loosely tied common thread. It goes all the way back there in the adventure game space. I guess people like us, after the death of LucasArts getting into it, you just got to scrounge and find whatever you can to fill that.
Go on GOG, be like,
Yeah.
what's beneath the steel sky?
Oh
I'll play
man,
that.
I don't think there was.
King's
I don't know if there was
Quest. Okay, let's do
GOG
it.
back then. Maybe, but 20 years ago. I mean, I'm old now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. It wasn't until like I was a teenager that I feel
Especially,
like
yeah.
GOG was like
No credit card back then either. Mom and dad
Mm.
were
Yeah,
too keen on me
yeah,
spending money online. So Newgrounds was the place. For like the Freddy Krueger.
I mean, back then,
Friday
when
the
you were a kid,
13th.
like at least in my case, it was also like you can't go download stuff without asking.
Mhm.
That's bad. You don't do that. You don't download.
Mhm.
I did that anyways.
Why am I getting an email about us pirating movies? Like, huh?
Yeah. Who did that?
Yeah.
No,
It sounded like
not me.
Yeah, Dad, I think you got hacked. You should be more careful, man. You're
Yeah.
kind of stupid.
Boomers on the internet.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
it's that struggle, that struggle to find that bygone era, especially in the time when it was so difficult. It kind of forces you to gain sort of internet literacy and to go online and really become like an archaeologist almost, looking for all that stuff. It's an interesting way to grow up that doesn't really exist anymore. I feel like
Yeah.
It is an interesting thing to think about. I suppose with that token and the experiences you've had, growing up, playing the games you did, I'm curious about, outside of the world of video games, like any
Yeah.
majorly influential artists or works
Yes.
there.
you accidentally
Yeah.
see a Lars von Trier movie at 10, and that has any lingering effects.
No, not quite. I'm kind of a TV head outside of video games. Like I
Okay.
really like kind of like prestige television. Like you got to name Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul as an example. I really
Of
like
course.
these shows where it's about people. You got this main character and they make a bad decision, and then a while later they make another bad decision because of what they did earlier, and then eventually they just spiral into the consequences of all these bad decisions that they made. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul is like the one example of like serious kind of dark comedy stories. There's also The Sopranos, which I binged maybe a few summers ago, also really good. There's also HBO's Barry, which is probably one of my
Okay.
favorite
Yeah.
shows of all time. You know
Yeah.
that?
Bill
Yeah,
Hader. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Right on,
exactly.
dude.
Yeah, it has this. The writing of that show is incredible. It's probably like one of my favorite of all time, just because of how it starts off as this fun, like it's kind of like a comedy in
It's
the
kind of
beginning.
goofy. Yeah. Oh, this
Yeah.
hitman wants to be an actor, but then
Yeah,
it's like,
that's
oh,
so
he's like
silly. That's so
such
silly.
a horrible human being.
Yeah.
The relationships between the characters. Yeah. It's
Yeah, exactly. And
crazy.
then over time, like by the time you get to season 4, it's kind of like all the light is gone. What the heck happened?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just turns into this super serious character drama. That's the kind of stuff I really like when it starts out kind of lighthearted, then later on, as you get deeper and deeper into the nitty gritty of it, it's kind of like, yeah, this is kind of interesting.
This is kind of grim. These
Darker,
Yeah.
get darker.
real flawed people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can certainly get a taste of that with Mesmalie and sort of the glimpses at other endings you can explore there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There's
Cool.
also
cool.
something I'm watching more recently is Pushing Daisies. It's this 2007
that's
show.
like
Yeah.
Who's in that? Who's in that? Is it
I don't know the
is it
actor.
Kristen Bell?
Lee
I
something.
don't know the names.
Lee
to be
Pace,
honest.
I think.
Maybe.
is
But
the
it's
main
about this
guy.
pie maker who can bring people back to life with the touch of his finger. But then if he touches
Mhm.
them again, they fall back dead permanently. And it's one of these shows where it's like it's presented really whimsically. It's all fun. It has bright, vibrant colors. The music constantly swells up and down. And then you take 2 minutes to think about like what's actually happening in that show.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, what the heck is this is kind of dark.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's
Just to
that kind
have
of stuff yeah, exactly.
at
It's
the
that kind of
forefront like
stuff that I
that.
really like. Yeah.
Yeah, that contrast. Almost like you're fooling the audience.
Yeah, the subversion
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Very cool. Very cool. Before getting more into narrative inspirations, I'm also curious about your relationship with art and drawing.
Yeah.
Has that always been a big part of your life, or
Yeah,
have you
so,
begun
like-
designing did it? Okay.
Art specifically is kind of like one of those things I started off as a kid, but I wouldn't say I was like ever too heavily into it. I think around when I was a teenager, I was mainly into doodling like cartoony kind of stuff. I never wanted to make like super serious kind of art, like even though, nothing against that kind of stuff, but that just didn't interest me as a teenager. Like
Sure.
I just kept drawing and eventually I kind of like built up this style that I now have in Mesmalie. Yeah, it's pretty much that's pretty much the path that I've always been kind of drawing. A lot of it happened in like notebooks during work or like school or whatever. Like that's the majority of my art, I would say. Like I don't have that much art outside of those. It's mostly like stuff in the margins of notebooks and whatever.
Yeah, that degree of escapism.
Yeah,
Nothing
exactly.
will make you wanna
The
draw.
No,
slim-
I understand that.
yeah.
Being bored out of your mind, there's nothing you want to do more than draw.
It's a great
exactly.
impetus to create. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it wasn't until maybe like a few years ago where I tried to like seriously get into digital stuff. I think I bought an iPad or something for university back then, and then once I finished that, I decided to just try drawing on it a bit more seriously. Like I bought Procreate, I think it's called, this really great art program, and I use that a ton nowadays. So there's that.
Okay, very cool. And then at the top, you mentioned being a musician as well. I noticed in the credits list, you have a bit of a team with some aspects, but with the music, did you develop that all? Did you create that all yourself, or
Yeah,
are you working with a composer for
no,
Mesmalie?
the music was me. That was also me.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
also something I got into. Maybe I don't know exactly when I got into that as well, but that was also like as a teenager. I think Undertale was new at the time, and I was like, yeah,
Sounds about right. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like a lot of contemporaries of mine. I played Undertale back then. The music was really great, and it kind of made me think, I would love to make music for my own games.
I can do anything.
Yeah, exactly. So like I kind of started out with that a little bit, just making really bad music. Because when you start out with something, it's always going to be bad. Like I made bad music at the time, but it's something that just grows over time. But yeah, like I got into making music. I was also in a lot of I wasn't really active in these communities. I was mostly just lurking in these like communities where they try to recreate music, not just Undertale specifically, but also like you can find a lot of resources for many different games, even like big AAA titles where you can figure out, okay, these are the virtual instruments they use.
Yeah,
exactly.
Totally.
So like I kind of like when I started out, I hung around in a lot of these communities, and that kind of helped me build up this kind of like
this
style
knowledge
I have
base.
nowadays.
Yeah,
exactly.
Very cool. Yeah,
because it was never like anything super formal. It was mostly just messing around for a decade or so until I got kind of comfortable with doing it.
Yeah. So many people we have on the show that's like a very similar experience. So it's very inspiring and comforting to hear that it's like a shared sort of
Yeah,
Send it
if
amongst
you
creatives,
just
yeah.
set your mind out to it, you can do anything. Literally
It's true.
anything.
It's a beautiful
It is all
thing.
true. Undertale has proven that, as a game developer, you're basically a god,
Yeah.
You have unlimited power.
Exactly. You can let it go to your head. It's okay. In small
You can,
quantities,
yeah.
you can.
You
Yeah,
should.
exactly.
It's good.
Yeah.
And it's
You
small
need a little
doses.
bit of ego, I think. You need a little bit of megalomania to pursue something so crazy as making a game.
Exactly.
And, the end product, for me at least, with everyone we talked to, is always worth it. So, feel free to let it run a little bit more.
Let it go to your head a little bit.
If you make a bad
exactly.
game, then you're not allowed. If you make bad games, and you'll know because we don't talk to you. Okay, that's the litmus test right there. You don't get a random message from me in the middle of the night saying, "Hey, you want to be on my show?"
I think everyone deserves to let godhood get to their head a little bit from time to
for a
time.
little while. For a little while.
Yeah.
Get taste.
Yeah.
With the game's sort of narrative content surrounding the occult and witchcraft, is any sort of real life interest there for you? Like, have you always been interested in this, or was it just
any
like
bloodletting?
This is a good subject matter for a game, and this is what I want to explore there?
Dodecahedrons or whatever.
It is something like it's not something I actively practice, but I'm like deeply interested in like people's actual experiences with it and their relation to it. It's like it's just fascinating, especially nowadays online, where you can find anything online. You can find anyone talking about their experiences online. So
order a witch off Etsy. Order some spells off of Etsy. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know what that's referring to. Yeah, you can use that for anything. But yeah, it's like I said, it's not something I actively dabble in, but it's something I do find really, really interesting as a general setting. Like on the one hand, you have this kind of like real life witchcraft that people supposedly practice, where it's mostly like gardening stuff and drinks and like the occult. It's like rituals and this kind of stuff. It's like just really interesting to see how the people practice that in real life. And also, of course, like the fictional side of it is really badass sometimes. So there's also some interest in that. I try to like strike some balance between the two, where there's this awesome, like awe-striking magic and stuff, visually really cool, but also like kind of drawing some inspiration from like researching like, okay, how do people deal with this in real life? Like, what are their practices?
Yeah, that intersectionality of the fantastic and then actual lived experience, I think, is
exactly
very important. Portraying this sort of thing. That's very cool.
Almost like making the supernatural almost mundane by understanding it. Yeah.
Do you feel like the part of the world you're in sort of affects your worldview? I mean, of course it will, but I suppose like the specific type of like spirituality and sort of witchcraft adjacent practices on that side of the earth. Do you feel like that is? I don't really know where I'm taking
any cultural influences.
I think, yeah.
I think I don't know. That's kind of a hard one. I wouldn't say there's like anything specifically that goes into it. But of course, like different cultures, they practice this stuff a little bit differently, and it's always interesting to see how it differs in different cultures. I think in Mesmalie's case specifically, that's more like I think they're located somewhere in the Americas. It's like not really something close to me specifically, but yeah.
Okay.
That's about what I have to say on that.
There you go.
Yeah, and that does answer my
place in the middle of Kansas. You heard it here first.
Yeah,
as roundabout as it was.
In the middle of nowhere. The game just says they're in the middle of nowhere.
Mesmer's a Midwest emo, so be on the lookout.
Take that as you will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. And then you mentioned you've been dabbling sort of with development, but this is your first like major project.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Most of the stuff I made over the last 10 years, of course, I've tried making bigger things a few times, but those never really went anywhere because I do think at times that was kind of like a bit too grandiose in the scope. Like many developers have this where they start off with an idea, but it's just too big. Most of the stuff I put out there over the last 10 years was mostly just game jam submissions. Like there's a Ludum Dare or Ludum Dare. I keep forgetting how it's like
whatever you want.
Pronounced, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But like that's the main one I made stuff for over the last 10 years. And game jams are really great to motivate you to get something out there. And I think that's the main reason most of the stuff I made over the last decade was for that kind of those kinds of events,
Mhm.
because they really push you to get something out within their
Yeah.
time limits, 48 hours.
The pressure cooker. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
It
it's
gets
like
you going.
even if even if like big projects don't go anywhere, that's at least one venue to get smaller stuff out there. So I've mostly been doing that, like dabbling in different technologies, trying to get stuff out there, trying to work on stuff. But yeah, Mesmalie is the first one where it's kind of like, yeah, I really want to pursue this. I want to turn this into a full thing, and now it's almost out in like 11 days or something like that. Time of recording. So I would say that worked out.
Mesmalie will be out 5 days after this episode comes out.
This episode goes live.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
It's very exciting. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I will be playing it.
Yeah, certainly. Well, let's get into it. Let's talk Mesmalie.
Yeah.
Rain, you want to introduce the game, beyond how we talk about it up top? Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, so I think in all the taglines I describe as like this occult visual novel / point and click adventure game, or like visual novel with point and click mechanics or whatever. It's like kind of a mix. It's kind of a hybrid of those two genres. The whole thing revolves around you're this witch. You wake up in the middle of the night after accidentally setting your home on fire. And this was probably due to your out of control magical abilities. So you're like, okay, no, I want to get this under control. Conveniently, you have this newspaper clipping with like an ad where this someone wrote, okay, I will teach you for free. Just call this number and visit my house. And then you end up at that house and you meet Mesmer, the primary character, and yeah, shenanigans ensue.
Shenanigans ensue.
Yeah,
to put it lightly.
Certainly. Very good. Okay. And where did the initial inspiration for this idea come from? When did you know, like, I want to make this game?
Yeah. You see like some Craigslist ad or something?
Yeah, that's where the real life inspiration comes into play. All of this happened to me in person.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It's autobiographical.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this kind of relates to the question from earlier about like inspiration and stuff, but I think like a lot of my more recent year inspirations kind of led me to that point. I think I played Smile for Me by Limbo Lane a few years ago, and that's another one of these games where it has like this really strong art style, really funny writing, excellent character designs. I played that and I was kind of like, I would love to make something like this. It's this game where you walk around an asylum where they try to make people smile and you solve these puzzles trying to get them to smile. It just has really great character designs, lovely art, funny writing. And I played that and I was like, I'd kind of like to make something similar to this. And then at some point I played Slay the Princess, I think it was. And then also their other game, Scarlet Hollow. And that also made me go like, I would love to make something similar to this. And eventually all of this different stuff kind of blended together into Mesmalie, shaping up Mesmalie somehow. It wasn't ever something where I like sat down and I was like, okay, I want to make this thing right now. In the beginning, it was more just like I just took a character I had laying around anyway. I wanted to make something fun with them in Game Maker or whatever. That's the main engine I use. I just wanted to make something fun with them in Game Maker. And then, eventually just spiraled into this thing where I was like, okay, I got this premise here. I wonder what would happen if blah, blah, blah. Or like, what's the reason the play character would be here, blah, blah, blah. And like the whole thing just spiraled from these questions I just asked myself after I made this little kind of prototype. I think at the time it was literally just the kitchen room, and you had these 3 balls on the table and you could like activate your magic mode and smash them. And that was everything I had for the game at the time. I didn't have any further story ideas beyond that at the time, but that stuff just manifested over time when I kind of got into the idea and I was kind of like, yeah, this would be fun to pursue like for real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, inject some darkness.
Yeah,
general ideas you wanted to explore, and then
exactly. Like
that's cool.
Yeah, because for a while I was kind of like, I would love to make this kind of like adventure game. You click around, talk to people, and then Mesmalie just formed at some point.
Yeah, and going off of what you were saying about your inspirations and your being drawn to that sort of subversion of beginning, light, whimsical, and then revealing that darker tone. Yeah. With these games that you mentioned there, it's like, okay, I'm seeing that. Certainly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, at a point.
It's very cool to see.
Yeah, I think like Slay the Princess specifically, like I can't match up to that ever. It's like, I think that's one of the best indie releases of the last few years just because of how much that game reacts to your choices. Mm-hmm. Like literally any choice you make leads you down a different path. It's is great. I don't know how they pulled that off. And Slay the Princess wasn't even their main game. Scarlet Hollow, their other big project, was their main thing at the time. And then they were like, okay, let's start Slay the Princess as like a little side thing. And now they sold like 1 million copies or something like that. It's just crazy.
It's funny how it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
I think it is nice, especially in the demo, even just the fact that you can exit the game at any point. It does kind of take that idea you were saying of like constantly making bad decisions, and they compound, they make the situation worse and worse and worse. Because in the beginning, when you run away, there's no real reason to. It's just, I guess the player could have an uneasy feeling. But as you learn more about the area and as you go through the world, it becomes more and more apparent that there is something wrong. There is something unsettling or dark or dangerous about where you're at. So I think having that ability to just end it and get the different endings and leaving it all in the player's hands, I think is a powerful little tool. I really like that.
Yeah. I mean, admittedly, that whole kind of phase, like, it's rather a gimmick. Like, later in the game, if you use that same mechanic, some specific different stuff may happen that's not just like a text on the screen. But it's one of those things where it's like this interesting little mechanic where it's more like a gimmick more than anything, but still, it's for those people who like really get into the game and they want to know, okay, like the what ifs.
Every avenue.
Exactly. The what ifs and that kind of stuff is supposed to make you think a little bit more about like, okay, I can leave at any time, but nah, screw that. I want to get close to the Switch. I want to like you said earlier, when will she hold my hand? When will she blah blah blah?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anyone who is watching this hasn't played the demo, click off immediately and play it. But
yeah, I was going to say, how much of the spoilers within the demo are we comfortable discussing? Because I'm
the
certainly
whole thing. You know,
very
the
curious.
demo's been out for like
anything
a year
in the demo
point.
is fine. The demo's been out for like a year almost.
Okay,
I think it came out August 2025. Has garnered a tiny community that has found everything in it already. So they won't be surprised to hear anything.
That's the thing, you know. It rewards. If you want to explore, if you like, for example, the biggest example is the little creature in the cage. Outright tells you like, you got to get out of here. Like you're gonna die, and it even gets mad at you. You're like, well, I want to see what happens. It's like, why? Why do you want? Are you not listening? Are you stupid? Whatever. It's I do like this. It's really putting the decision making, the awareness that everything that happens from this point is now your fault.
It's all the player's agency.
I do like that a lot.
Beautiful thing there.
I mean, the realistic answer to all of this, like, you know, it's a video game. It's the same in all other games where it's kind of like, hey, you killed this monster. Why did you kill this monster? Don't you feel bad for that? I paid like
Bastion Undertale.
No, not specifically. No. It's just, you know, I paid for this video game. Like, it's kind of stuff that's like, you know, you do it because it's a video game. You go down stuff that you wouldn't usually do in real life. I mean, you wouldn't like enter random people's houses and just loot their chests or whatever, like you do in most games. You wouldn't do that in real life. But it's kind of stuff that makes you think about like, how would the in-game character think about this? Or like, you know, if I was actually in this world, how would I think about this? That kind of stuff. It's like, you know, the realistic answer is it's just a video game. It doesn't matter that much. But yeah, it's all just like supposed to turn the gears in your mind and like get you thinking about that kind of stuff, about the what ifs and such.
People talk about immersion. You're getting immersed in the character's mindset and their decision-making process as well as your own.
Just like, it's exactly like Grand Theft Auto. You know, I shoot someone in the head, I laugh in Mesmalie. I blow someone's head up, I don't laugh. It's actually horrific.
Blowing up Mesmer's head was
I just want to see what happened.
It was a shock. Yeah, like, okay, if I don't click the jars, and now the guy won't even talk to me. You know, are there 17 endings within the demo, or is that?
There's actually 18, but like that's not the intention. That's not the intention.
The demo is insane.
I know, crazy, I'm aware of that. Like some of the demo endings are kind of like excessive. I was really just like fucking around at the time. Just
no, I mean I think that's great. I think it's so cool that you included that stuff. But
but
more from a point of like I have not explored that.
Yeah, but like I said, it's more like in the current state of the demo, at least, it's mostly just like little different ending texts, different what if scenarios about what if you theoretically stepped out at this point. Like I said, like apparently people have found a secret 18th ending. To this day, I've never bothered to look into like why this happens in the game. So it's funny whenever it's supposed to be 17 in the demo, but apparently there's like an 18th one you can reach. So it's really funny whenever people in the community ask like, okay, I found 17 endings. And then the people come out and say like, oh, there's actually like 8. There's a secret 18th one. And that's kind of become a thing, which is kind of interesting.
Yes. The glitched ending. The
The glitched ending. Yeah, I can't wait for the
Mesmalie
3-hour video essay about the darkness of Mesmalie. Yeah.
Mesmer reaches out of the computer and grabs you by the throat and starts strangling you.
It butchered me, yeah, in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Incredible.
making that was crazy.
It's
I don't know how to
Mesmer's
develop
8
that.
pages.
It's magic, you know?
Yeah.
It's just purely.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. With tone and writing and comedy in games, what's your approach to that? How do you approach that? I suppose.
Yeah, it's kind of like I still find it a bit of a difficult like thing to balance because you wanna. I don't really know where to start with this even because I wouldn't really consider myself a writer per se. This is just something like Mesmalie is the most I've written for anything ever. I think like back when I was a teenager, the closest thing to it would have been I wanted to make this TV show with a friend at the time, and we wrote like some scripts for it, and it was just kind of bad because I was more interested in like, okay, there's this big mystery here. Let's go all in on the mystery. Let's not ask how the characters feel. Let's not explore the characters. I just want to know about the mystery. I tried doing that stuff as a teenager, but it didn't end up that good. Yeah, it's kind of like with tone. You try to, at least in Mesmalie, I try to like get you attached to Mesmer as a character. And to do that, she's kind of like she's kind of a funny character. I think I can say that because a lot of people feel charmed by her, so I can say she's funny with confidence. I think at the time I was kind of like worried, like, oh my god, you're gonna play for this whole game with her. People are gonna get so annoyed by her by the end.
So
of the demo.
annoying. I hate
so
her.
annoying. She talks so much. I don't even know where I went with this question, but it's just something difficult to balance because on the one hand, I think it comes from my inspirations where I like stuff where it's kind of like a dark comedy or it's like, you know, this funny whimsical stuff that if you take 2 seconds to think about it, actually it's kind of messed up if you like spend some time thinking about it.
But
So
you never
that's-
do, right? You kind of just move along, let the world
Yeah,
be as it
exactly.
is. Yeah, 'cause I feel like if
That's
you
the
took the
kind of
time to be like, that's fucked up. That would be
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I
terrible.
really like in other shows and games and stuff like that, where you go along with it. But then, like, yeah, if you just think about it a little bit, yeah, it's kind of like interesting like that.
Okay, very cool.
Or
Very cool.
stuff that like you go along with it, and then later on it turns out, oh yeah, there's like a side to this I hadn't considered at all. I think like maybe the first Portal is a really good example of that because it's very video gamey for the first half of it. It's like, you know, you go through these puzzles, so you kind of get a hint that something's wrong, but like it's only until later that you find out, oh yeah, this there's something seriously wrong with this place. It's that kind of stuff where it's like it takes a while for like whatever's beneath to slowly
Kind of
unravel.
bubble to the
Yes.
surface. Yeah.
Exactly.
Forcing the gamer to critically think as they scream in agony. It's good.
Exactly.
Any specific questions relating to the game right now, Nick?
Related to the game itself, yeah, this kind of steps on a community question, but I gotta.
We're taking it from you.
Yeah. So the art style for Mesmalie, it's got this very sharp, angular style. Is there any like particular comic artist or artist in general that kind of contributes to that outside of your margin drawings? Because there's one in my head, and I want to know if that's who I think it is without asking who it is.
I mean, yeah, that's also kind of a hard thing to like really specify because yeah, absolutely, there's like stuff online that kind of influences any artist's style. There's a lot of like other artists. It's hard to name some specifically other than like just general internet artists because I think that's the most I actively see. That's the most I actively enjoy. Maybe I'm curious to hear like who you have in
I
mind.
was thinking of Jonan Vasquez.
I'm familiar. Yeah, that's not like a direct inspiration, but I am familiar. It's more like I think Hugo Limbo, or I think that's their name. The artist of Smile for Me or Limbo Lane. They make like really strong character designs with also like lots of angles and stuff like that. So I would say, yeah, it's just a bunch of
yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it when you see it. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah. No, it's hard to really point that down. I mean, like probably if I went down my following list on Blue Sky or Twitter, whatever, I might be able to like pick out some names from that. But yeah, it's just a general influence,
Just
really.
an amalgamation bouncing around. your
Yeah,
head.
and like you mentioned
Angular,
earlier, like
bold.
Flash games and stuff like that definitely had an impact on it with like the thick outlines and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
It's very much a kind of internet art style, I would say.
I
Yes.
think that's a very apt
It's
way of
born,
putting it.
yeah. It's
And I
born
think it
from the
fits-
internet. Yeah, exactly.
This is what happens. You watch Metal Gear Awesome one too many times. You make games like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, this is embarrassing. Jonan Vasquez, I was thinking of like some other person, but no, yeah, totally. Their art is like the name. I blame it on the heat wave that the name just escaped me. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, like
Yeah.
Zim,
Boiling your brain
Johnny
cells.
the Homicidal
Mhm.
Maniac and
Exactly.
stuff like that. Yeah, that's also
Exactly.
like very strong art that definitely shaped up in some way. But then again, that art style is also, I would consider that like an internet's art style because like
Mhm.
Newgrounds
Mhm.
culture kind of adopts it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Salad fingers looking. Totally.
The only way to
Yeah.
really get it too online was like fan sites because I couldn't tell my parents like, oh, can you give me? I want a copy of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. Can you give me this comic book? Like, no, not in a million years.
no.
Got to read about some guy with diarrhea online instead. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
No, we mentioned that we don't want to get too into the narrative content
Yeah.
of the game. Never mind. I have questions, but I feel like they just
No,
gonna
no,
give
no,
away-
go ahead.
give away too much.
If it's something I can't answer, I'll just say like, nah.
Okay.
Is there an epic final battle with Mesmer where she turns into a big demon?
Yeah, the absolute part, the last part is totally true. She turns like
Yeah.
20 feet tall,
Yeah.
fire coming out everywhere.
Yeah, a whole hopes and dreams segments.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
power of the soul.
Exactly. Power of friendship,
Yeah.
firing friendship beams and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's tonally good. I think it's a good direction.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're expecting with this game. Now I suppose with your character's, power set as it is, you mentioned you started with that initial draft of the bottles exploding in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Did you I guess how further along from that did you realize like, oh, I want pyrokinesis to be like the power that we're going to explore here?
It's kind of like,
Was-
I was just thinking about like, okay, I want the main character to have this magical ability. And like, that's like the main thing that came to mind where it's like, okay, this is something you can actually do to the real world where you can see some consequences of that. You become stronger. I mean, theoretically, like there's this part in the demo where you go around, you can destroy everything in her house. Theoretically, you could do that just by like, I don't know, smashing stuff, just throw a brick through the window or whatever. Theoretically, you could do that. But it's just with your magic, it's just the most you can do with the world, and that's like, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just one of those things where it's like you can get some really visceral,
very
stuff out of
immediate.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't have to go through like 10-point click steps where it's like, okay, I pick up the brick, I put the brick in my inventory, I walk to the window, I take the brick out of my inventory, I throw it against the window. It's not like that. It's like
window,
it's very exactly. It's very immediate kind of. So that's where it kind of like
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
It's nice. Almost like surprising too. I think the first time I got the unlocked magic power, I was like, oh, I wonder what'll happen if I use it on the creature in the cage. An immediate, disgusting smear.
Stain on the ground. Yeah. Doesn't feel good.
It's visceral stuff like that I like, where it's kind of like it's supposed to shock you for a moment. It's like, oh, okay, I was just having fun in this game. Okay, oops.
I didn't know that using the psychic megaton hammer would hurt anybody.
Yeah, exactly. How was anyone supposed to predict this?
Yeah.
But again, it also, puts you in the mindset of that character too, because it's
exactly
shocking narratively for them to be, just
exactly
granted this new power. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Would it be a spoiler if I asked if there were like ways that your power? I mean, the concept is you're learning more and more to like unleash more and more power. Without spoiling too much, is there any taste of
I think what I can say, it's not really like video gaming in that way. It's not
the
really
progression
about
there. Okay.
yeah, it's not really about okay, you learn more and more magic. It's more about like okay, you use it in more and more ways. That's like the main way that it progresses, I would say, and that's about what I can say on that matter. But yeah,
that answers my question. Perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Right on. And then with these other two characters that were introduced in the demo.
Yes.
Yeah.
The corpses that
assuming they're gonna
Mesmer
play, like-
slit their throats and they're locked in the room.
A much more prominent role in the story. When you made
Yeah.
the demo, were they not like completely fleshed out at that time? Or
No, they were there.
oh, okay, already. Yeah.
Although I can
Cool.
say on that, like when I first like conceptualized the whole thing, I still have some notes from when I like started working on the project. Like maybe it was sometime in the beginning of 2024 is when I probably started with it. I still have some notes from around that time. It was that back then it was pretty much just Mesmer, and it was a very stripped down very stripped down version of what I ultimately ended up with. It wasn't even that long. Like kind of like I think the soundtrack at the time that I conceptualized for that version of the game was maybe like 8 tracks long or something like that. So it's like over time, a lot of stuff kind of like developed. I had a lot more ideas where I was kind of like, yeah, the game would probably benefit from that. So around the time of the demo, they were there, but yeah, there'll be more on that in the final game, of course.
Okay, right on. In your real life, damn it, question just like it came in my head, flew out. Nick, if you got a question, please go ahead and ask, and I'll try and remember what I was thinking.
In the real life, no,
real life doesn't exist.
I know.
I mean, does it really matter? You know, when you have the internet, is there any point in having
exactly?
A real life?
Exactly.
Real life only exists for conventions and karaoke bars, really.
Exactly.
I suppose. in your real life consulting experience, if there has been much of that, have you had any like particularly enlightening experiences talking to, or I guess with your research process? Have you spoken to members of like communities of the witchcraft community, members of it?
Not really, but
it
it's something I
mostly
would
been-
really. It's something I would really like to like kind of delve in deeper because I haven't really like that's kind of shameful, honestly. But it's like I don't have any
is what
direct
it is.
connections to them. Yeah, but yeah, that's about that.
Okay. Well, witches, if you're listening to the show,
Yeah, please,
Yeah.
please.
reach out. Give
That's
it
good.
another layer of authenticity because I think it would only enhance the game.
So no
Yeah.
one's reached out. No real witch has been like, this is not how we.
Yeah,
are.
this is not accurate at all. This is not how
Mesmer
a
is wearing
coven
witch
operates.
face. This is unacceptable.
Yeah, I think I'd cry. No, like the version of like magic and Mesmalie is kind of like anyway, it's like a fictional kind of like very exaggerated
Okay.
kind of like witch
Mhm.
lifestyle. So there's kind of there's some artistic liberty there for sure.
Fair
Please
enough.
don't get mad at me,
I
witchcraft.
know,
Yes,
real
sure.
witches rubbing their hands right
a
now.
little more subdued than The Craft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the movie I was thinking of earlier. It's like, what is that coven? movie with
I've
all
seen
the
I've seen
teenage
it.
girls?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. With the music, how has that experience been for you composing? Has it been particularly challenging finding the right soundscape, or do you feel like the story gave you enough inspiration?
Yeah, it's,
I have witchy melodies in my head and I'm going to just apply these here.
It's different for like every song that ends up on the soundtrack. Like some of
Okay.
it was kind of just like some of it isn't even stuff I made for the game specifically, but it's like I kind of like the tone of this. I want to like use this for the game, maybe like make the game go in that kind of direction. But it just depends on like the track itself, because there are many tracks where I went through multiple iterations until ending up on some final version. I think there's like one song in the game where I have like 7 different project files for the song just until I ended up with something I'm happy with. But I think most stuff in the game actually starts with the music. So like initially the music would be kind of some tracks were kind of a hassle to make, but like from that the rest of the game kind of flowed naturally. I think like for most scenes that happened in the game, I actually had the music prepared months in advance. I think, yeah, it's kind of like I tend to make the music first, and then I kind of let the rest flow from there, because I think the music kind of like it's very
It
important.
informs
Yeah,
the,
exactly.
yeah.
Like in games, especially in narrative games too, the music is really essential. I think you got to have like the music does need a very strong relationship with the rest of the game. So it often happened that I'd make like a song with the game with a vague idea of a scene in mind, and then it might take me months to actually get to that point in development where I actually implement that scene. But by then I've probably listened to that music so many times that when the time comes, I kind of know like, okay, like here's some stuff I want to do with the scene based on the music. So yeah, a lot
I
of
can relate to that.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, the music, some of it kind of hard to conceptualize, but once you have that in place, it's kind of easy to inform the rest of the story, kind of.
That's cool. And then I suppose with when you're making games, Nick always likes to ask everybody what your gamer philosophy is. What are you trying to impart through your art onto the player?
Yeah, that's also one of those big things where it's kind of hard to specifically answer from my case. I really like it when games talk back to you. Like, you do something in a game and the game responds a certain way. I really like in video games, for example, where I think Portal 2 has like multiple instances of this, where there's scripted cutscene that's supposed to play out, but then if you stall for a while, the characters will kind of say like, "Hey, you're supposed to do this and that." The game just kind of reacts to what you do, or even if you like repeat certain parts, the characters will also acknowledge like, "Yeah, you've already done this," and they have alternate dialogue for that. I just really like it when the game responds to you, when the game talks back to you,
and again, like actively observing the player.
Yeah, exactly. From a developer standpoint, it's really interesting because you kind of have to try and anticipate what your players will do. And there are many times where I didn't really have that in mind when making certain stuff in the game. And then I'd ship over a copy of like the latest build, whatever that was, to my friends to have them play through it a little bit. And they do something that I just wasn't expecting at all. So, yeah, I like it when games talk back to players. If I'm a gamer and I play a game that acknowledges something I did in a specific way, that is really awesome. When you're a developer, it's kind of impossible to anticipate everything a player can do, but even then, that's also really fun to just implement a lot of extra stuff, like a lot of extra dialogue you only get if you do something a specific way. So yeah, I would say my gamer philosophy is just like let the game talk to me more.
Connecting with the player.
Yeah, exactly. Let it acknowledge me more. Acknowledge the player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes everything you do within the space feel more meaningful, I think, when you get that feedback from the game itself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like God speaks to you and says, like, that was really dumb what you just did.
Why'd you do that?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. Any further questions on Mesmalie, Nick, before we...
On Mesmalie itself? Mostly I'm just looking forward to playing it and enjoying it when it comes out. Yeah.
Just a few days away.
I know, yeah, it's very exciting.
I'm definitely happy to be at this stage. I kind of want to like get this out of the way, just move to the next thing, whatever that is. So I'm very eager for it to come out.
Yes. What's next? But before that, who did it last time? Was it you or me?
I think I did it last time.
Okay, well,
but this is our final. This is
the last one.
Did you give Rain a heads up that we'd be doing this?
I did. I told them.
Okay.
I told them we were wearing these for a reason. This is the final suited episode.
Yeah, this is the final stretch. Listeners, viewers, and listeners.
I think this will actually come out after the second the Kickstarter ends. So you'll.
Oh, okay. Well, then in this case, we're saying thank you for your support. Yeah. Anybody that has contributed at this point, truly shocking. I'm gonna pull up the numbers right now and just see where we're
just
at.
Lie.
Let's see. Oh my God. God damn it! This thing is not in my my search history, my recent history. Here we go.
It's more than 2,000.
It is more than 2,000. If we're still at 2,150, then okay, we're still at 2,150. But you know what? That is fine by me. That tickles me.
I'm sure that by the time that this is released, it's triple that.
Yeah.
And if it's
manifested.
That's fine too.
That's fine too. But
I mean, I would say go support it, but if this comes out after that, then you better have done that. You better
exactly when we reopen the Kickstarter for the second wave.
I think you can do the late pledge if you want a Discord role, but that's about it at this point. If you really want to, you come in and chat and all that, you can do that. So, but it's been a wonderful time. I got to go out and scream at people in public to no effect. It did not help the Kickstarter at all. I blame the World Cup. I
know. Terrible time to get eyes on anything.
I know. But we're working on the movie now, so get ready for that. If you're expecting completely dry, normal documentary, it's not. So sorry about that. If you want a refund, it's too late. It's not possible. And so don't bother. You can't do it. Don't do it.
But truly, thanks to everybody that's been a part of it. Just the whole experience of running a Kickstarter and then seeing the response to it it warms my heart, frankly, to see that people actually want to support the program.
It was shocking.
So thank you. Yeah, we will. Yeah, Nick mentioned we're working on it. We're putting putting scripts together, getting equipment and all that. And we'll be, shooting some behind the scenes updates as the progress goes on. So you have that to look forward to. Yes.
Yes. So thanks a lot.
Until then, yes. Thank you, everybody.
I don't know if my mic is picking up. I'm clapping for you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, then I suppose we can close out today's episode with looking towards the future and then our community Q&A.
Yes, you mentioned you have a project lined up after Mesmalie. You have something in the on the burner.
Yeah, I mean,
already, yeah.
It's I can't really say anything about it specifically yet, but it's kind of like while I was making Mesmalie, I really like this kind of game. Like, I wouldn't say Mesmalie is kind of like my kind of dream game I would like to make, and I don't think this next idea is going to be there either. But Mesmalie is a game I really enjoyed making. I really enjoyed like the blend of gameplay and narrative I ended up with. So I think my next project is definitely going to be something along those lines as well, where it's kind of like you have this slightly bigger narrative, maybe a lot more gameplay sections and stuff like that. So it's kind of like going to take a bunch of ideas I had during the development of Mesmalie and just try to maybe flesh some stuff out a little bit, just kind of make it a bit grander. And I'm excited for Mesmalie to come out, so I can actually like move on and just get to this other thing.
Guys, we got to band together, make sure this sells 1 million copies.
Exactly.
Okay? We want that next game to get
actually like I'm in the stage right now where I'm getting a lot of spam email from different like people who want to do like publishing deals or whatever. I got like one. Yeah, I know. I got like one email from this one agency. They were saying like, we can help get your game in the hands of like 55 influencers who can then help it spread it to 2.4 billion gamers. And I'm kind of like, really? 2.4 billion gamers? You sure you have that kind of reach?
55 influencers, man.
I know,
the math
right?
does itself.
I know, right? I mean, it's a good thing that gamers
wouldn't you love to have
so.
XQC's audience watching Mesmalie playthroughs?
Oh, God.
They would love it.
Oh, God.
I can't wait to see.
Now, believe it or not, we also get similar emails for the Kickstarters. Like, pay us $500.
I can't imagine.
Definitely get you thousands of dollars.
Exactly.
There's not a single person on this mailing list.
It's even funnier if they use the same templates. Yeah, and you can tell it's templates, and they kind of like just format the name.
This is not for us. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, come on, at least try. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no anyway, but at least try.
Make me feel special before
Exactly.
As we mentioned before, all indie gaming publishers are evil scammers, except for the one guy we know who isn't.
Two guys now that we know.
Oh yeah, the 2 guys we know. That's it.
Give them a shout out.
Yeah.
Big shout out Joe Corder and Kaysen.
Yes.
Love you guys.
Everyone else, you'll go to hell before you die. Any words of wisdom for potential game developers?
Yes.
Or musicians, or artists, or creatives in general, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can say on that matter is like, you really just gotta make stuff. I mean, it's like easy to say that on the one hand. It's easier said than done. Like, just make stuff. Of course, it depends on like, I don't know, real life circumstances around the time or whatever. But like, really, like making stuff is the only way to get ahead, even if it's like projects that you end up abandoning or whatever. Because I have so many projects under my belt where it was kind of like at some point I was like, yeah, this is probably not worth pursuing, but at least I still get something out of those. It's like, you still learn stuff making it. And even if you get it out there, if it's like a small little thing, like, hey, it's still something out there that, if you do make something bigger at some point in the future, people can go through your like past and like dig through this
see
stuff.
the progression.
Exactly. Like, you just gotta make stuff and just share it with people. Because this is also something I struggled with years ago when I was just making stuff for myself. Like, I would be really awkward with sharing stuff with my friends. I think even the Mesmalie demo, like I worked on that for maybe a year before I actually let my friends play it. Because I really struggled with just like getting stuff out there, just showing it to other people. Because there's this anxiety of like, oh God, other people are gonna react to this.
Shit. My work is shit.
Yeah, but you can't.
I understand, dude.
Yeah, you can't hide behind that forever. You really just gotta like keep making stuff, even if it doesn't like pan out really. Because at any stage of it, you still learn stuff, and people will get to react to it, even if it's like positive or negative. If it's negative, yeah, that feels like crap, but like you still learn something out of that.
There's feedback there too.
Yeah. I mean, unless it's like really stupid criticism. Some criticism is stupid. Don't listen to that. Yeah. It's not worth listening to that. Or, let the godhood ascend to your head again. Just like, all
disregard it all.
Crap. Yeah, exactly.
This is perfect. You're all stupid.
Exactly.
That's how you grow.
As long as you make stuff, that's the only thing that counts at the end of the day.
Mm.
Just make shit.
Make it.
Exactly.
Yes, thank you.
Before we get into the community, I always like to ask guests what you're playing these days when you're not working on game dev. if you've had the chance, have you been playing?
I know, yeah, that's the
anything lately?
Because Mesmalie comes out in like a few days. It's kind of like a lot of my time is dedicated to that. No, I still have time to play a game. No, I have a full backlog of stuff I'd love to get around to once I have the proper time for it. I'm kind of intimidated by it at this point. Like there's so many stuff to play.
It'll just keep growing.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, even from the most recent Next Fest, there were some demos I wanted to try that I still haven't gone around to yet. I probably want to play soonish.
Yes, you should check out our Next Fest series. We're releasing daily the games you should have played.
Yeah, I mean, I think this week I played Deltarune like everyone did this week. You know, it's the big event.
Yes.
Other than that, I played Pronoun Palace, which came out kind of recently.
That one looks very good. Looked very interesting.
Yeah, also like the art style. Again, it's one of these like art styles where you can tell it was created from the internet. Mm-hmm. It's this like roguelike Scrabble kind of battler kind of thing. It's a really interesting word game. It's also like super
like behemoth coded kind of.
Yeah,
I did see. IsItWoke.com said, "Don't play this."
I know it's so funny. Like I wouldn't have imagined that Pronoun Palace would be woke. I wouldn't have imagined that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, everything about it looks very interesting.
Funny.
It's like evil roguelike Scrabble is a new one that I've never seen before. So I really want to try that one. You know, I'll pick it up probably on the summer sale, even if it's full price.
Yeah, it's fun. I've been playing it. I've sunk an ungodly amount of hours in that.
I mean, Deltarune, that's always good to hear. It's always good to hear. Personally, I'm looking for a good yellow wig myself after that.
There's also Easy Delivery Co., which I really like that.
Dude, yeah,
I got into that big time when it came out last year.
It's the point.
Yeah, I know.
Co-op update.
I know. Yeah, I was going to say that. Like, that's where I was going to go with it. Like, it's getting one on July 6th, so I'm like really excited for that with a new map and such. I really like that game, so I'm excited to have more of that. So that's probably what I'm going to be sinking my teeth into next.
We'll arrange some play sessions within the Discord.
Yeah, radical. Or if you want to play Left 4 Dead, we do that a lot. And Garthicon and all that stuff. Be part of the exclusive crew.
All right. Well, let's close today's episode out with some questions from our community.
Yes, the brainiacs within our community.
Yes, thank you guys for asking these questions. So I guess I'll start us off coming in hot from the One Buns. Mm-hmm. She asks, "Were you a fan of Lemony Snicket?"
That is one of those series where I think like I would have absolutely loved that as a kid. Like I really like mystery stuff. It's kind of weird. I had maybe, I don't know how many books are in that series. I think like as a kid I had the 7th one for some reason. None of the others. I just had the 7th book in that series, or whatever would have been something like that.
A 13 book.
Yeah, okay, then it checks out. Yeah, because as a kid, I only had
it like randomly in the middle.
Yeah, it's weird. I just had it in my collection. I read it as a kid. I did enjoy it, but I didn't really know how to go about getting the rest. So it's kind of like whatever. I don't know if that's like a specific interest, a specific inspiration of mine, because I only had that one book as a kid. But I think overall, like it has a very similar tone to the things I like, where it's like it's really funny, but also like super dark and
incredibly dark.
Yeah,
exactly.
Is a very good way to describe.
It's all from the perspective of the children, so you don't really grasp the severity of it.
Exactly.
Their next question is to you. What really defines something tragic as funny?
I'm not really sure what to get out of that question. I think I don't know, like a man falls from a ladder, that can be funny. Until you learn he's like maybe 80 years old and probably broke a hip then and he's about to die.
Then it's really funny.
Tragic. It's hysterical.
It's the platitude, the difference between a comedy and a tragedy is who it's happening to.
I mean, it's like, it's mostly just like the context, I guess, if I understand the question
correctly. If I slip on a banana peel, that's tragedy. If you fall down a manhole and die, that's comedy.
Exactly, yeah. Or like sometimes like you can have like a joke in a game or like a movie or something like that where it's like kind of a funny thing, and then later on you learn some other context behind it, and then you learn, oh, that's actually kind of sad. I couldn't name any examples from the top of my head, but yeah, that's
I'd say the Disco Elysium intro is a big one.
Oh yeah, I've never actually finished that game, but
You would
I can
probably
imagine.
like it.
One of my favorites
It's very
of, like,
good.
all time. Yeah.
When you're playing the game, you might say to yourself, "Wow, he's literally me," and then you'll keep playing the game and say, "Oh my god, is he
This is
literally
about
me?"
this is about Harry, right?
Yeah, Harry.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know. He's messed up. It's like, he's this funny, wacky guy, and then it's like, oh god, oh
The layers
god,
there, yeah.
yeah,
Incredible stuff. Yeah. It is an interesting thing with like tragedy, comedy, and I feel like even horror, so much of it is like pacing, build up, payoff,
Mhm.
It's all
Yeah.
how you execute it. It's all
I
within
think
the
Porter. I
execution.
think Porter too has this quote of like, comedy is tragedy plus time, or something like that.
Mhm.
Like later on, it becomes funny.
Cave Johnsonism.
Yeah.
Some J.K. Simmons. Beautiful. All right, their last question is, what's your favorite video game mystery or Easter egg?
Yeah, I tried to think on that for a little while because it's one of those things where it's hard to think of one specific example that's I really, really entrenched in, because I do like Easter eggs in video games. They're awesome. I think like one thing I want to name is, maybe this isn't like an official mystery, but this is something like community made that kind of spiraled out of control. This was a few years ago. I don't remember exactly when this was, but I remember in the Nier Automata community a few years ago, people started freaking out because of someone claimed to have found
Found a door, like a room,
yeah,
right?
they found a secret door somewhere, and behind it was this giant white church, like this untextured church or whatever. And people started freaking out, like, "Oh my god, what the heck is this? How have we not found this in all the years that the game's been out?" And over time, over the course of a few days, the guy who shared the initial clip of that shared a few more stuff from it, and every time people started losing their minds, they freaked out. And it wasn't like, I think it was on one of the console editions or something like that, so it wasn't like people could easily crack that open and like verify. Exactly. Like people couldn't really verify if that was actually part of the game, so it spiraled out of control into this massive mystery that people start getting obsessed over. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a subreddit for this. There's a subreddit for everything. That was probably one created for this. And then a few days later, it turned out, it wasn't actually in the game. I think it was just like a modding team tried to introduce they were trying to introduce unprecedented modding tools. So like that was their way of like showing this off, introducing it to everyone. And I think, of course, like if with something like that, the developers of the modding tools probably got some death threats over it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people thought like, that was really cool. It got us like interested for a few days. It's a really cool thing that like, I really like mysteries like that when it's not even something official, but it's like convincing enough to fool people into thinking, oh yeah, it's real. I mean, you can't really easily do that nowadays with all the AI bullshit that floats around. But
exactly, I feel like it's a relic of a bygone era. Especially with like surrounding video games, right? There used to be like that playground sort of like era of mystery.
Yeah, that white church hoax was probably closest. That's
of like going back to that. Like, oh, dude, you can drive a car in Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, in general, like video game stuff like that is just
not present
I like
these days.
Yeah, I like when the mystery is more on the community side of things. I think like in Mario 64, especially, there's this whole thing about like L is real 241,
and
it wasn't until like no, not even that. But I think it wasn't until recently that people could confirm with the texture dates. Oh yeah, it just says Eternal Star or something like that.
But then it turned out Luigi was in the damn game the whole time.
Yeah, and it took some days to drag him out of there, like to extract him out of it. It's I really like community side of mysteries like that.
Good. All right, Nick, you want to take the
Yes, from Oso. Yeah. If there were two guys on the moon and one of them killed the other with a rock, would that be fucked up or what?
I mean, everyone asks a question, but like nobody asks like, what did the other guy do to deserve that? Like, does he deserve it? Does he deserve to have his head crushed in a rock? Why are they even stranded on the moon and stuff like that? Like,
he could have been evil or annoying.
Exactly. Like maybe that guy's the reason they're stranded on the moon for whatever reason. I mean, we don't even know if they're stranded there. Like maybe their ship is like right behind them or something. I don't know.
It could just get off in a second.
It's very contextual.
It's all contextual. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the image of like the image that tries to highlight propaganda of like you have the camera pointing at a guy running away from another guy, but then the camera shows like the man is holding a knife towards the other guy. It's that kind of thing, It's very contextual. I don't know if it's fucked up.
Yes, it's all the media, man.
Exactly. The media wants you to think it's fucked up.
They want you to think the guy killing the guy with the rock is evil. He's the hero, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Last question coming in from Goon Lagoon. He asks, What's your go-to sandwich?
Chicken curry. Simple as
Chicken
that.
curry.
Nice.
I used to work at a place with a cafeteria that had really good chicken curry sandwiches, but I haven't worked there.
What kind
in a
of
number
bread
years.
are you serving that on? Like a roll?
Brioche or
like,
something?
Yeah, like just like a plain baguette, half a baguette or something like that. Yeah.
It's crazy
Really
how much better the
lovely.
cafeterias are outside of America. People describe it. It's like a wonderland.
Yeah, I mean, it varies from place to place, but God, that workplace, they just had really good sandwiches, and I really miss it. It's the only thing I miss from that job. It's
It's
a
the number one
sandwich.
benefit. Yeah.
That must have been a good
Yeah.
sandwich. Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Nick, what's your go-to sandwich?
Reuben on rye. Yeah. Without a doubt.
Yeah, I do love a good pastrami. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that's
just
everyone.
walk on past that, Sam? You just don't like sandwiches or what?
Me?
We
I'm like-
spilled our guts and you're not going to
No.
say what yours is?
I'm like a banh mi guy. You know, I always get fucking like.
Yeah, well, I know. The world doesn't know.
Yeah, I'm
You know,
banh
Rain
mi,
doesn't
you
know.
Get the pork deluxe sandwich on there.
Mm.
Mhm.
A nice pate spread.
Yeah, get the pate, get the pork skin, get the
Yes.
pork belly. It's all there.
Man, this is totally off topic, but I remember someone I knew, a coworker in the past, was like, "Oh, I just came back from Vietnam. It was a wonderful time." It's like, "Oh, like trying the food like a banh mi." Like, no, they have like McDonald's there and stuff because the banh mi looked weird. It's like, why did you even go?
God damn it.
It's insane. Okay. Well, back to it. Thank you, as always, community, for asking those wonderful questions. And that brings us to the end of today's episode.
Yes.
Yes. Where can viewers and listeners find Mesmalie?
Mhm.
Yeah, so Mesmalie drops July 9th on Steam. There will also be a DRM free version on itch.io, maybe GOG, but I haven't heard back from them yet, so who knows when that will happen.
Mhm.
Yeah, they'll be able to find that there. The soundtrack will also be available on Steam in a bundle with the full game, also on Bandcamp again. Yeah. Other than that, I'm on Blue Sky mainly. I still use Twitter only for marketing the game. That's the only reason I'm still on there.
Yeah.
I post stuff on Tumblr from time to time, but it's mainly Blue Sky where people can find it.
Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. It's still alive. It's still alive, and like what many people are saying, it's kind of like a sanctuary at this point, you know?
Yeah, no, I saw it coming back within like recent years, but the people going to it, it's very intentional these days, which I love.
Yeah.
You also have a website, correct? Just orbital.com for all those.
Yeah, there's that,
projects.
and also
Wonderful.
exactly, Mesmalie.com with like a little FAQ if people have some questions about like the game, and yeah, that's where you can find me.
Fantastic.
Okay. And as always, we'll leave all of our information in the links below. But Rain, thank you for coming on. It was a real pleasure talking to you about the
Yes,
game.
Thank you
very
for having me on. Can I do one
Wonderful
quick
thing.
shout out?
Yes,
Yeah.
please. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Kaibetsu, that's KEIBETSW, who's making a game called Hisugata. It's like this RPG Maker game with a very strong visual art style.
RPG Maker, you say?
Yeah, I know. It has a very
All
strong
about it.
visual art style. It has a story about the impending end of the world or something like that. It has fun puzzles. Yeah, it's a good time.
Sam, send the email now.
Working on it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
No, Keep has play tested the full game for me, the full Mesmalie copy for me, so I'm grateful for that. Yeah, so check out that game too.
Addendum, little addition before it's over. Orbital Dot or Rain would also like to thank Rosaleaf for the Mesmer character portraits, Chemical Sushi for concept art and logo design, and also Shoppin Cart, that's SHOPPN Cart, for concept art and playtesting. Thank you.
Check it out. Beautiful. We'll try to leave some information for that in there as well. But as always, everyone, thank you for listening. Until next time, we've been Video Ditch. Take care of yourself and keep on gaming in the free world. Thank you one last time, Rain. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Keep gaming.